Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into Othisis MedTech. Our aim here is to unpack how their approach, using traceability and confidence scoring, helps make sense of all those, chaotic clinical documents.
Yeah, the PDFs, the CDA files,
Exactly, turning them into something clinicians can actually trust for making decisions.
and that chaos you mentioned, it's just the daily grind in clinics, isn't it?
Yeah.
Information overload is a real thing. You've got faxes piling up, scanned PDFs, these really dense structured files like CDA and CCDA.
Right, and then maybe you try using AI to summarize them, but it often feels like a black box, doesn't it?
Totally. Important facts get buried. And if a clinician can't quickly see where a piece of information came from, what do? They have to go back and reread the whole darn thing.
Which completely defeats the purpose. It's not just wasted time either. It's about risk. You might miss that critical allergy on page like 14 of some old referral note.
Exactly. Or a drug interaction
Yeah.
hidden somewhere. So yeah, the stakes are high.
Okay, so how does Othesis actually tackle this? How do they structure these documents and avoid that black box problem?
Well, it really comes down to their focus on explainable AI. That's the core idea.
Explainable AI. What does that mean in this context?
It means the data never just sits there alone.
Yeah.
It always comes with its history, its provenance, and a rating for how certain the system is about it. Othesis ingests all those files we talked about, PDFs, CDA,
Uh-huh.
and it converts them into an internal structured format that it can then analyze reliably.
Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting, I think, especially for the person actually doing the charting the confidence score.
Spot on. Every single piece of data Othesis extracts gets tagged with a score. Think 95%, maybe 90%, sometimes lower, like 65%.
Like a traffic light for how much you should trust that specific piece of info.
Pretty much. And 95% is like a green light. Go ahead. But a 65%, that's a yellow light. It's telling you, hey, maybe double check this one. It flags uncertainty before you potentially act on bad data.
So it's proactive. I like that. What happens if you get that, say, 65% score?
That's where the clinician gets control back. They haven't just got a summary. They've got what we could call a defensible summary. If that score is low, they just click.
Click on the summary line.
Yep. And it instantly traces that claim, that piece of data, right back to the exact source line in the original document. The PDF, the CDA, whatever it came from.
Ah, okay, so you see it in context.
Instantly. And that provides auditable evidence right then and there. No black boxes.
That makes sense. So the system flags it, shows the source, but it's still the clinician making the final call based on that original context. Precisely. They see the source line, the surrounding text, and decide, okay, this looks good, I'll use it. Or, let me verify this further. Or maybe just, nope, I'm skipping this one. It changes the whole review process from reading everything cover to cover.
Just focusing on the specific points the AI wasn't totally sure about. Targeted verification.
The impact on just the daily workflow must be huge then. If you're not spending, say, half an hour wading through documents for one patient chart.
Chart prep time just plummets. We're
Yeah.
talking going from 30 minutes, sometimes more, down to just a few minutes. And crucially, with higher certainty.
Because the iffy stuff gets flagged.
Exactly. Those low confidence items are brought right to the surface for you to check. They're not buried deep in some 50-page document anymore. It fundamentally changes the risk equation.
Okay, that's clear. Now, you mentioned outputs earlier. Let's clarify that because I know there can be confusion around formats like CCDA. What does Othesis actually give the clinician or the clinic after this review?
Right. This is a really key point. Currently, Othisis does not export data directly as a CCDA file or, say, a FHIR resource into the EHR. That's not the workflow today.
Okay, so what does it provide?
It ingests the PDFs and CDAs, does its internal structuring, scoring, and traceability magic. Then after the clinician review, it provides downloadable, human-readable outputs. Think of something like a clear summary PDF.
And that PDF would have the trace markers.
Exactly. It shows the summary points and links back to where they came from. Clinics can then take that verified summary PDF and use it in their existing workflows, maybe
Yeah.
faxing it, maybe uploading it to the patient record system.
So the focus is on the accuracy and traceability of the summary first, before tackling direct EHR integration.
That seems to be the strategy. Get the verification and trust part right using the documents clinics already have. So after review, you essentially get two main things.
Which are?
First, that clean, clinician-friendly summary view ready for quick charting. Second, you get that integrated trace map. Every single point in the summary is linked back to its origin.
Which sounds incredibly useful for audits or peer reviews.
Absolutely. Makes compliance much easier. And of course, this is all handling protected health information, PHI, so it's fully HIPAA compliant, secure both when stored and when being transferred.
So thinking bigger picture here,
Yeah.
what does this all mean? It feels like the standard for clinical AI is shifting. It's not just about summarizing anymore, is it?
No, not at all. The new benchmark, really, is AI that can prove its work. It needs to provide defensible data, clear traceability, confidence levels, all built on the actual documents clinics are already dealing with every day, the PDFs and the CDAs.
So it's about building trust through transparency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that leads to a really interesting question for clinics, and maybe for you listening. When you have data you can actually verify, data with traceable proof, how does that change where you put your focus? Well, it seems like it shifts the focus away from just managing this mountain of documents
Right.
and puts it squarely back onto actual patient care, informed by data you can trust. It lets you concentrate on the patient, not the paperwork. Better outcomes have to start with better verifiable data.